All right, so you guys are ready to really get into the law of attraction.
Yeah.
You sent us a ton of stuff to look at, so we're going to dive deep today.
Yeah, we're going to go way beyond just like putting sticky notes on a vision board, you know?
Right. Like, we're going to get into why those affirmations and all that sometimes, they just don't work.
Totally.
And, like, why is that?
Okay, so first things first, it's about way more than just thinking happy thoughts, you know?
Okay.
It's really about aligning your entire being, like your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Gotta get them all on the same page with what you want to attract. It's like this fundamental principle, like attracts like.
All right, so that makes sense. But what about all this stuff on, like, treasure mapping, vision boards?
Yeah.
You got a few sources that say that stuff can actually backfire.
Yeah, for sure. Treasure maps, like those vision boards, can be super powerful.
Yeah.
But there are some traps you can fall into.
Right.
Like one of the books we're looking at says, don't just throw a bunch of random pictures on a board and just hope for the best.
That's like in that episode of Friends where Joey
Oh, yeah.
puts all his wishes on one birthday candle.
I remember that. He ends up wishing for a boat and like a friend and a new apartment.
It's all over the place and nothing happens.
Exactly. You got to have focus.
Focus.
Not scatter your energy everywhere. The book says to think of it more like your treasure map is all about how you want to feel, not just the stuff you want.
So it's not just about getting that big house.
Right.
It's about feeling that joy of being in it.
Exactly. And that kind of leads us to like how important emotions are in this whole manifesting thing. There's this quote from Joseph Campbell that really captures it. Yeah. He says, "It's by going into the abyss that you find your treasure."
Whoa. Okay, that's deep.
Right. Like you have to look deep inside yourself.
Yeah.
To figure out what you really want and the feelings that go along with it.
But that's where the real work comes in, right?
Yeah.
That's where all those limiting beliefs pop up.
Oh, tell me about it. All those thoughts like, I'm not good enough. Or,
ugh, I know those thoughts way too well.
I don't deserve this. They can be so loud, you know? It's like they're drowning out any positive stuff we try to think.
I know, right? It's like you're trying to be positive, but then this other voice is like, no way, not you.
And it's funny, one of the sources you sent, it describes the mind like it's an orchestra.
Oh, okay.
And all these negative thoughts are like a trombone section that's playing off key.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And they mess up the whole song.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
So, like, how do we get that orchestra to play together? How do we quiet those negative thoughts?
Well, that's where we got to start doing the real inner work.
Yeah.
We have to become aware of what those limiting beliefs are, where they came from, and then we can start to change the story.
Like rewriting the music, right?
Exactly. We can choose what gets to play in our minds.
So it's more about being like the conductor of your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, there's this great exercise the book talks about. It says, say one of your biggest complaints out loud.
Okay. Okay.
But then after, say, you're right.
Oh, wow. All right. I never have enough time to get everything done.
Yeah.
You're right.
How does that feel?
Ugh, it's like heavy. Like I'm just agreeing with the problem instead of actually doing something about it.
Right. It's crazy how powerful just saying those two words can be.
Yeah.
It's like we're giving those negative thoughts permission to run the show. The book says we're always affirming something, whether we realize it or not.
So if we keep focusing on the negative, then we'll just keep getting more of that.
It's kind of scary, but it also means we have the power to change it.
Okay, that makes sense. But like, how do you actually do that? Especially when there's so much negativity around us, you know?
It is tough. And that's why it's super important to understand what you truly desire, because sometimes we think we want one thing.
Yeah.
But it's really just a cover for something deeper we need. Like the book uses the example of wanting a red Corvette.
Okay, I like Corvettes.
Me too. But think about it. Maybe it's not really about the car itself.
Okay.
Maybe it's about wanting to feel free or adventurous.
Or maybe just to look cool.
Exactly. So it's about uncovering what's driving that desire.
Got it. So like, if I'm always saying, I want $1 million, but I also have all these beliefs about money being bad.
Right, exactly.
Or rich people being greedy. Then I'm sending mixed messages.
You got it. Those beliefs about money, they're like a wall between you and your goal.
Sure. Wow.
So you can visualize that $1 million all you want, but if you don't deal with those underlying beliefs,
it's not going to work.
It's like trying to drive a car with the parking brake on. You're not going to get very far.
Okay, so you got to release the parking brake.
Exactly. You got to look at your beliefs about money, wealth, abundance, all of that.
And the book, like, Give some tips on how to do that.
Yeah, it says pay attention to when you feel jealous or envious.
Really?
Yeah, instead of just getting mad at someone who has what you want. Use those feelings as clues. Like, what is it they have that you really crave?
That's interesting. Turn that negative feeling into something useful.
Exactly. And that's what we're talking about here, It's less about magic and more about understanding yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs.
Yeah.
It's all connected to your reality.
So we've talked about treasure mapping, emotions, and limiting beliefs. Now, what about surrender? That one's always been a little fuzzy for me.
Surrender. It's a big one.
Yeah, because it seems like you're supposed to put in all this effort to manifest.
Yeah.
And then you just got to let it go. Like, how does that work?
I know, right? But the book says surrender is actually the key to making all this stuff work.
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah.
How do you actually surrender, like in real life?
Well, one of the sources uses this really interesting parable.
Ah, a parable. I love those.
It's about this guy who refused help during a flood.
Okay, this sounds good.
So imagine this. So there's this guy, and he lives in this town that's about to get hit by this huge storm. And everybody's, like, getting out of there. But this guy, he's convinced that some miracle is going to happen and save him.
Oh, so he's not going anywhere.
Nope. He's putting all his faith in a last-minute save,
This is not going to end well for him, I can already tell.
So the storm is getting worse and the water's rising and his neighbors come by like, hey, man, come on, we're out of here.
Yeah.
But he's like, nope, God's going to save me.
Okay.
Then his friend comes paddling by in a canoe, tells him to hop in.
Right.
But nope, same thing. He's like, God's going to save me.
He's really pushing it. You'd think the water rising would be a pretty big sign, right?
You'd think. But he's stuck on his idea of how this is supposed to play out. So the water keeps rising, and he's forced up to the second floor of his house.
Oh, man.
Then a police boat comes by. They're like, sir, we got to get you out of here.
What does he do?
He's like, no thanks, God's got this.
Oh, come on.
I know, right?
Oh.
It's like one of those movies where you just want to yell at the screen. He's so stubborn. Even when a helicopter throws down a ladder, he's like, nope.
Oh, no, he did it.
Yeah, he drowns.
Wow.
And when he gets to heaven, he asks God, why? I had faith in you. Why didn't you save me?
That's a good question.
And God says, dude, I sent you a warning, a car, a canoe, a boat, and a helicopter. What more did you want?
Okay, yeah. I think that's a pretty clear message.
Right. Sometimes we're so focused on how we think things should happen that we miss all the opportunities right in front of us.
So that's what surrender is all about.
Exactly. Letting go of how we think things should go and trusting there's a bigger plan.
So not giving up on what you want, but
right.
just letting go of the need to control every little thing.
Yeah, it's like letting go of the oars and letting the current take you where you need to go.
You're kind of like co-creating with the universe then.
Exactly. You're acknowledging that you don't have all the answers.
So like let go and let God.
Yeah, kinda. But how does this all fit with the law of attraction?
Good question.
Well, when you surrender your desires to the universe, you're saying, I trust you have my best interests at heart, even if I don't get it right now.
You're trusting that what you want is also what's meant to be.
Exactly. And when you let go of that need to control everything, you also let go of a lot of stress.
That makes sense. It's like, okay, universe, I trust you, lead the way.
And that shift in your thinking, just that, can change your whole vibe, Makes you more open to opportunities.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
So it's less about getting what you want and more about becoming the kind of person who can receive it.
Exactly. And that brings us to a really cool technique the book talks about for making your desires even stronger. It's called the tuning fork exercise.
A tuning fork. Okay. I'm listening.
Basically, you use visualization and your energy to create a strong vibration that's in tune with what you want. Like you're hitting a tuning fork and sending out this frequency into the universe.
So it's not just about picturing what you want.
Right. It's got to be vivid, Engage all your senses. See it, feel it, hear it, smell it.
Make it real.
Make it real. If you're visualizing your dream job, don't just see yourself in the office.
Yeah.
Feel that excitement of working on cool projects. Hear the sounds of the office. Even smell the coffee in the break room.
Immerse yourself in it.
Yes. Feel it like it's happening now. That emotion, that's what supercharges the whole thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's like a warning about this exercise too, right?
There is. It says if you start feeling any resistance, any negative stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Stop. Figure out what's going on before you go any further.
So if it feels off, you got to listen to that.
Exactly. Sometimes it's because those deep-seated fears and insecurities are popping up. The book actually talks about 3 big ones that can really mess with your manifesting.
Ooh, okay, I'm curious.
Unworthiness, shame, and lack. They're like the heavy hitters of negativity.
Yeah, those are big ones.
They're kind of sneaky, though, because they often work behind the scenes, you know?
Subconsciously.
Yeah, exactly. But the good news is we can unlearn those beliefs.
So it's not our fault we have them.
Right. We learn these things, but we can also unlearn them.
So it's about being aware of them and then
Yeah,
consciously changing the story.
exactly. Be kind to yourself through the process. We all have these shadows, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have to control us. Shine a light on them, and they lose their power.
Like weeding your garden to make space for your flowers to grow.
Perfectly said. But how do we actually deal with these deep-rooted beliefs?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The book has a bunch of suggestions: journaling, affirmations, even working with a therapist or coach. It's about finding what works for you.
It's a journey.
It is a journey of self-discovery. You're creating a space for your dreams to grow.
And that brings us back to surrender, doesn't it?
It does. It's more than just letting go of control. It's about trusting the wisdom of the universe, knowing you're being guided even when you don't see it.
Like you're part of something much bigger.
Exactly.
So the law of attraction isn't just about getting stuff. It's about aligning yourself
Yeah.
with this abundance that's already there.
Inside and out. And it's not just about money, you know. It's about joy, love, peace, all of it.
It's about realizing that you have the power to create your reality.
Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions,
Yeah.
they're all blueprints.
So we're like architects then.
And the coolest part, we're not doing it alone. The universe is our co-creator, always working for our highest good.
So the big takeaway here
Yeah.
is that we're more powerful than we realize. Our thoughts and feelings, they're shaping everything.
Every single day, it's about getting your thoughts, emotions, and actions in line with what you want.
And the universe is always listening and responding to that energy.
So choose those thoughts carefully. Embrace the power of surrender, and you'll be amazed at what happens.
It's time to step up and make those dreams a reality.
Let's do this.
Now here's something to think about. If you could manifest anything, what would it be? And more importantly, how would it make you feel?
That's the real question, right? What feelings do you want to bring into your life? Joy, love, freedom, abundance.
Tap into those feelings and
Oh.
see the magic happen.
Happy manifesting.
So it's like living the law of attraction isn't about chasing things. It's about getting to that feeling of abundance on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. It's about switching gears, you know? Going from I don't have enough to I have plenty. From fear to love.
And the book says you don't have to try harder. You have to love more.
Right. Bring excitement, joy, appreciation, all those good vibes into your everyday life.
So realizing that real happiness,
Yeah.
it doesn't come from what you own. It comes from inside.
And you know, when you're giving off that happy, grateful energy, it's like a magnet. It attracts more of those good things right back to you.
Okay, but that doesn't mean we just ignore the bad stuff, right?
No, not at all.
It's about making a choice,
Mm,
you know, to focus on the positive, to be grateful, even when things are tough.
totally. And to trust that you're being guided, even if you don't always see how the universe is always listening to us, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like we're having this back and forth conversation, and the language is energy and emotion.
Or every thought, every feeling,
Every single one.
like sending a signal out to the universe.
And the universe sends it right back to us.
We're kind of creating our reality as we go then.
It's like a dance. This amazing dance of creation. And once you realize how your own energy affects everything,
Yeah.
that's when you really start to take control.
So living the law of attraction, it's not just something you do. It's like
Yeah.
a way of life.
Absolutely. It takes patience, it takes practice,
Yeah.
and a willingness to learn and grow. And the book says we got to look at those challenges not as roadblocks,
Okay.
but as chances to learn something.
So it's okay to mess up.
Totally. It's not about being perfect. It's about enjoying the ride, learning as you go, and knowing you're moving towards something better. And don't forget to celebrate along the way.
Celebrate the small wins.
Yeah. Acknowledge those little victories. It helps keep that positive energy flowing.
Okay, I like that. So this has been awesome. We covered so much from like the basics of attraction to surrender, limiting beliefs.
It's been great talking about it all with you.
And with you, our amazing listeners, we hope this was as helpful for you as it was for us.
Don't forget, you're powerful creators. The universe is your canvas.
Go out there and paint your masterpiece.
We can't wait to see what you create. Happy manifesting, everyone!